Project Giana has made their Kickstarter goal. While we're waiting for them to finish the game, let's sample the surprisingly high-quality fan game, Giana's Return.
Alright, this is a heck of a fan game. It takes nearly everything from the original Great Giana sisters, and rather than add a bunch of new concepts, tries to perfect what's already there. The sprite work, the music, the cutscenes, everywhere you look you can see the work that went into this. In terms of actual gameplay, this is a very generic Mario-style platformer. So if you don't like old-school Mario, then this isn't the game for you. One odd choice they made was that gathering 100 gems not only gives you an extra life, but this is also how you heal. Because of this, I find myself working much harder to collect gems than I ever did to collect coins in a Mario game. The first couple bosses are pretty good, but soon you realize that the bosses are all very similar to each other. They're all the same size and shape, and they all run back and forth across the screen in more or less the same manner. And while they aren't bad, it would have been nice to see more variety. I'm also a little disappointed that they didn't bring the dragon back. But what they may lack in their boss battles, they make up for in stage design and attention to detail. The stages are varied, and each of the 7 worlds has its own feel. All this variety means the gameplay never becomes boring or tedious, despite being a rather large game containing a whopping 56 stages. One cool thing about this game is that the power-ups aren't in the same place every time you play. As for the enemies, they're not very threatening, which is to be expected from enemies in an old-school Mario-style game. And now for this game's one fatal flaw. This game gives you about 5 hit points, which is quite a step up from the original Giana sisters, where you always go down in 1 hit. However, the game is filled with stuff that insta-kills you. It's to be expected that lava and bottomless pits are instant death. Quicksand and water killing you is fair enough given the conventions of the genre, but why does fire need to kill you when you're at full health? This stuff's everywhere, apparently even ice burns. Then there's an enemy that insta-kills you if you jump on it. What? Why not have it just damage me? But the worst offender, by far, is the spikes, which for some reason look like piles of pink shit with thorns. I'll admit, touching one of those might make you wish you were dead, but still... Instant death?
If I ever find the creature taking all these death shits, I'm gonna... probably call a doctor. I mean, the poor thing needs help. This can't possibly feel good coming out.
When you get to the later worlds, the death spikes are changed into something that fits in with the new environment. And by fits in, I mean blends in. They're not invisible or anything, but I can't tell you how many times I walked into one of these spikes because I just didn't notice it. There's nothing about them that draws your eye. Combined with design choice to depower you every time you die, and needing 4 power-ups to fully recharge, means you'll spend most of the game looking for power-ups that won't actually do you a whole lot of good, since they do nothing to mitigate all the instant deaths. If this game had only given you 3 hit points, but made the fire and spikes deal damage instead of death, this game would have been among the very best fan games. As it is, it's still a well-made and enjoyable game, but I can only really recommend it to hardcore retro gamers, which just happens to make up the majority of my audience.